What's this? Furniture Flip Challenge 2023. Grand prize $1,000. You and your fellow furniture flippers are invited to compete in a sustainable DIY challenge. Grab a piece of furniture and enter into one of 3 categories for a chance to win $1,000. Scan here for more info. What are we waiting for? Let's grab our UpPaint and head home to flip. Hey everyone, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. We are so excited to be partnering with UpPaint this holiday season to invite you to enter into our Furniture Flipping Challenge for a chance to win $1,000. As the rest of this video progresses, we are going to be dropping all of the need-to-know information so that you can enter for your chance to win $1,000. Let's get to flipping. I am so excited. We are here ready to host our 2nd annual FLIPMAS. So welcome back to day 1 of FLIPMAS 2023. If you're new around here and you don't know what FLIPMAS is, it is where we are going to bring you a new furniture flip every other day this month. So be sure and get subscribed so you don't miss a furniture flip. Let's go ahead and remove the hardware. So I was strolling Goodwill one day and I came across this piece. It's a little beat up, but it was only $20. So of course I had to get it, and I cannot wait to tackle it because it has really good bones, but like most of the pieces I do, it just needs a little bit of love to bring it back to new life. All right, now that the hardware is removed, we can clean. So during this competition, there are going to be 3 categories that you can enter into. Only choosing one though. The first one is on a budget, and what we're talking about is your actual furniture piece. It has to be under $100 to enter the on a budget category. So for instance, like I said, I got this for $20, so this would be a perfect candidate to enter in the on a budget category. With that being said, we will need to see your proof of purchase, your receipts, so that we know how much you paid for your piece of furniture and also for the paint and materials that you are grabbing, because it has to be UpPaint. So I'm cleaning this piece with simple green because we need to get it free and clear of any dust, dirt, grime, and oils so that our paint and primer can adhere really well to the surface. Cleaning and rinsing is finished. Let's move on to sanding. All right, time for sanding. We're gonna do some scuff sanding to prep our surface, and the finish is kind of failing, so I'm gonna kind of just see what is gonna come off with the sander. If you look really close and you kind of feel, you can just see the kind of cracking in that finish and the original finish, and that is not gonna be good for our paint to adhere to, because chances are over time that would eventually flake off. So when I'm sanding, we're gonna be getting all of the flakiness and the failing finish off. All right, it's time for the next category of this competition. You can enter into the Flipper's Choice competition, which means that literally any piece of furniture, a dresser, a nightstand, a table, a chest, whatever you can think of, it can be entered. You just have to use UpPaint. So that is a category that basically has no limitations. So that could be an awesome category for you. I am now going to sand down this portion of the dresser because I wanted there to be some sort of wood element going on. The scuff sanding's done. I'm gonna use an 80 grit to get the finish off of this part around the front of the dresser. Okay, it's time to make some repairs. Somehow this drawer corner got a huge gouge out of it, and so I'm gonna go ahead and fix it with Bondo. I've got kind of a little barrier built up so that I can prioritize this area and sort of make it into the correct shape without wasting too much Bondo. And then once it's hardened, I'll use my sander and we'll make sure that it looks like a corner. So the Bondo is it's just a really hard epoxy substance that you use cream hardener to make it harden. And then once it does harden, it doesn't shrink. It hardens really hard so that it'll hold its shape. So that's why I use it for these larger types of repairs. And it's great for filling hardware holes as well, and any just big gouges that you need to fill in your furniture. So we mix it up like so, and then I'm gonna grab it and we're gonna put it on this corner. And it might take a couple different applications of the Bondo to get this corner right, but there's the first application. There's a couple other spots around the dresser that I wanted to fill with Bondo as well while I've got it out. And while the Bondo is hardening, I am gonna tape off some of the wooden parts so that we can get ready to prime. I really like to plan ahead, so while something's happening, I like to kind of move on and prep myself for that next step. All right, we can go ahead and take this off. The Bondo is hardened. You're gonna see the job it did. We're super close, but we didn't quite get it. So we're gonna do one more application of Bondo so that we can get this corner just right. Looks like a pretty great corner to me. It is time to prime. I'm gonna be using the Bin shellac-based primer on this piece because I busted through the finish on a lot of the areas since it was failing. So we're gonna go ahead and prime it out. While I'm priming, I wanted to talk to you guys about the third way to enter the competition. So first we talked about on a budget, then we talked about Flipper's Choice, and the next one is Best Dresser. So you can grab any dresser. It could be a long dresser, it could be a tall dresser, and you can flip that and get entered to win the Best Dresser competition. I am using a foam roller to apply this, and really the shellac-based primer is oil-based, and so it's pretty difficult to clean up afterwards. It's not just soap and water. So instead of worrying about the cleanup, I just go ahead and toss the foam roller, or if I know I'm gonna be using it again on another project soon, I'll save it and wrap it up so that before it dries out, I can get as many uses as possible out of the foam roller. I don't think we caught it on camera, but Neiman just missed it. I spilled my primer everywhere, like everywhere. The Bin shellac primer. Not my best move there, but that's okay. We'll just sand that back once everything is dry. Got it a little bit on the wood. Primer is dry, so I am going to be using a Surf Prep foam abrasive pad, and it's a fine pad, so it's really going to help me smooth out the primer. Sometimes when the primer kind of absorbs and seals up the wood, there is a little bit of texture left behind. So I want my finish to be super smooth, and that starts with getting the primer super smooth. The most important stipulation of this competition is that you must use UpPaint. UpPaint is available in both the United States and Canada, which means that if you are in the United States or Canada, you can participate, but you must be 18 years or older. Also, UpPaint is available at Michaels or online at michaels.com or at uppaint.com. I am going to be using the color Pale Ivory by UpPaint. It's kind of a white, but just has a little bit of a creamy undertone. So we are going to be painting on the body of this dresser first, and I'm going to be using the UpPaint chalk brush. I used this in the first video that I used UpPaint, and I really like the way that this holds onto the paint and really glides across the surface. It's so stinking soft. So if you're looking for brushes, they're also available at Michaels and on uppaint.com. One of the things that I truly love about UpPaint is that it is actually recycled paint, and they turn it into a chalk paint. So you can even send your old paints into UpPaint, and that is how they recycle it. You can order a box on their website, but I think it really goes along with the whole point of us taking old furniture and giving it a new life. Instead of throwing it into the landfill, we save it, and that is exactly what UpPaint does with paint. All right, first coat of paint is on, so we'll let that dry and come back for coat number 2. But in the meantime, we're gonna work on the hardware. I'm gonna work on the hardware. So I'm pretty sure this is solid brass. It's heavy. The style of the dresser is like that vintage, older look that tends to have the actual brass hardware. So we're gonna do our best to clean this up, and I'm gonna try using Brasso for the first time, with hardware at least. We used it on a few brass things that we had to sell for the store, and it cleaned up the brass really nice, so we still have it on hand. So I figured we might as well try it. It cleans it, but then it also polishes it. So kind of interested to watch it work on the hardware. Okay, so it's working for sure. I think I am gonna see if I have a sponge though, because I think a little bit more of an abrasive pad other than just like a paper towel, I think is gonna help me like get these clean a lot faster. So let me go see if I have a sponge. Couldn't find a sponge in here, but I do have this. I'm gonna try that and see, hopefully it doesn't fling everywhere. See if this kind of helps me get it loose though. All right, I think the moral of the story is I need to get like some steel wool or something, but this is gonna work, but I'd rather work smarter, not harder. So I'm gonna put this to the side, do a second coat, and then we'll come back whenever I can go grab some steel wool and finish out the hardware. The way that this is looking, we're at least gonna need this coat and probably one more. Hopefully 3 will be enough. Sometimes with the lighter colors, it just takes a few more coats. Got my steel wool. It is the next day. We are going to get this hardware all cleaned up. All right, the hardware is clean. It looks so much better like that versus like that. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the tape from these drawers, and we might need to do a little bit of touch-up sanding. I spilled the primer on that one, and I'm seeing a little bit of bleed through on the edge here on this drawer. So I'll touch up the sanding because my goal is to have the wood stay on these middle pieces if it looks good. So the UpPaint competition runs from December 2nd to January 2nd. So that is a month long of you flipping furniture, or you having the opportunity to get entered into the competition. So we're going to allow you to enter in all 3 categories if you want, but the catch is 1 project per category, meaning that if you want to enter all 3 categories, you have to have 3 separate projects to enter into each category. The winners will be announced on January 5th live on our YouTube channel, so get subscribed. And don't forget, you can only win 1 time. All right, I am going to do a top coat. So we've got the UpPaint Furniture Salve, and it is the scent Leather and Spice. Last time I used the lemon, which was really nice, but I wanted to switch it up a bit, calm things down, and it's an interesting smell. It's not bad. I like it. I'm gonna use the smaller chalk brush to apply this, and I'm just gonna kind of do circular motions, and we'll go back and buff it out once we got it all applied. This is gonna be good for wood and the paint, so I can use it on the entire piece. So for the competition, there are going to be 4 categories of the judging criteria. First criteria is originality and creativity. Next is craftsmanship. Then we've got transformation and narrative. Check out the link below for when you submit. It has all of the in-depth detail and how much weight each one of those categories and criteria holds. All right, I'm gonna put the hardware on. It looks so good, guys. I'm so glad that I kept it at like the normal or the original hardware, but cleaned it up because it looks really good, especially against this ivory color. This piece is gonna be good. So not only can we use the furniture salve to protect the paint, but we can also use it to butter up the bottom drawer slides so that the drawers slide really nicely. It's done. And just like that, FLIPMAS #1 is in the books. I can't believe it. FLIPMAS is back. I had so much fun. We've got so many great flips coming up, but you guys also need to get to flipping. You need to enter into this competition. You have a chance at winning $1,000. The last little bit of information that I'm gonna give you about this competition is that when you are in the midst of your furniture flips for this competition, we want you to tag Furniture Flipping Teacher and UpPaint Co. on Instagram, throughout your stories, throughout the reels you post. Update us on your progress, and we'll be sharing those throughout this entire month. And not only do you have a chance to win that $1,000 at the end, but there's also going to be chances and opportunities throughout the month to win more cash, UpPaint gift cards. So make sure you are sharing with us and tagging us. So let's talk about the piece of furniture. Again, I got it for $20 in the beginning, and I'd say we're probably anywhere from like $30 to $40 in, and that includes the primer, the sandpaper, the Brasso, and the paint. You guys, this paint for a 16 ounce is only like under $20. So your buy-in for this competition is super low, plus I only used half of it. So about $10 to paint an entire piece. That should get you into the competition alone. I really love the way that this piece turned out. I really wasn't sure how it was gonna turn out. It was kind of like a last minute decision on just the whole design of it. I wasn't sure how this was gonna look with the wood in the middle, and the two-toned wood, I am kind of digging it. It's like a three-toned piece, which is very unique. This is definitely a one of a kind, and I'm so glad I brightened it up from the dark wood to this light and bright airy feel. I'm thinking we're gonna go somewhere around $550 to $600 on this piece. It's 9 drawers, it's heavy, it's solid, it's in really great condition now that it has been updated. So we'll be listing it on Facebook Marketplace, and it's gonna be available here in our store as well. I'm super excited for you guys to be able to enter into this competition to win $1,000 flipping furniture. Just as a quick little recap of all of the instructions to enter into this competition, there are 3 categories. We've got on a budget, we've got flipper's choice, and we've got best dresser. And don't forget, our biggest criteria is that you have to utilize UpPaint for your furniture flip. They've got 5 great colors of chalk paint. They've got greige, they've got deep anchor, they've got pale ivory, and they've got green escape. Plus, they've got one more that I used on my last UpPaint flip, which was Fountainhead, a really nice kind of minty gray color. Then to protect your pieces, you've got the furniture salve. You don't necessarily have to use their brushes, but they are really, really great to apply the chalk paint. So I think that they go really well together. You may enter the competition if you are 18 years or older and live in the United States or Canada, in those places where UpPaint is available. And don't forget to tag us. We really want to see your progress on your project. And again, that's more chances to win more money. So may the best man or woman win the competition. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with, but I've got to get working on FLIPMAS number 2. We'll see you on the flip side.